It only took 60 days to take down the biggest economy in the world because of a virus. That's our hook. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Paranormal Past podcast. I am your host, Josh. I am doing my podcast from a secret location in a bunker where I've hunkered down because things are just getting weird out there. So, it only took 60 days to take down the largest economy in the world. And what it took was mobilization of the CDC, informing us that we needed to stay at home, that we could no longer socially integrate with one another, and that this was all done because we had to flatten the curve on the coronavirus. You know, how long it would take for people to get sick, when it would flood our hospital systems. There was a lot of paranoia that was associated with that. And there have been people who've talked in conspiracy circles for a long, long time who have thought that for those who would want to overthrow the world or the country, let's say the United States, you couldn't do it because we're too well armed, we're well organized, and we have enough wealth that it would be really hard to either attack us from the outside and take us over, or some sort of cataclysmic event or something like that. But it would be impossible to attack us and kill us. At least that was the idea. A lot of folks then thought it would be easier to actually take us down from the inside. Much like Rome, after a while, it gets too big for its own britches and eventually just falls apart. And that's where this whole coronavirus thing really starts to bug me, because there was so much mobilization to keep us away from each other, to no longer work. And since we have sort of a service-based economy, if you can't go out to places where you can receive services, suddenly the economy starts shutting down, because we're just not a manufacturer-based economy, which is something we should change right away, because we now realize how dependent we have been on foreign manufacturing for so long. So now, with the economy starting to tank, many in the media circles, let's start with Fauci, have said that, things will never look the same for us. A lot of economists said the U.S. economy will never look the same again. The whole landscape of the United States will never be the same again. You even have the United Nations out calling for 10% of the gross domestic product of the world to be able to be the world force to police things like this, which sounds an awful lot like trying very hard to take some people who believe in the end of the world, let's say the Christian-based end of the world, and giving it some sort of actual teeth. So it's either prophecy or it's real to them. The bottom line is they are saying things that line up with sort of the things you see in the revelations of the Bible and how that's supposed to all end. In some accounts, our world has ended in a way. Everything that we know has ended. I mean, there are people being arrested for going outside, for violating the orders to stay away from each other. You've got people who are getting sick from this virus that is very contagious. There's some reports that that they may not need all of the beds that they've had in New York, so they were paranoid they weren't going to have enough of them. Now it seems like they do, but they made all this effort to make sure that it was let it be known that in the early stages that they were going to need all this help. They were going to need federal money. Then you've got the government that starts to step in because all these people have lost their jobs. Unemployment's going to be who knows how high here soon. It could be as high as 30%, which there's nothing that ever happened in the Great Depression that was even close to the number of people who aren't working right now. And then you've got the government that steps in and they start giving out relief checks. And I don't know if it's an effort to just try to get people dependent on the government, because that would be one of the easiest ways to get rid of a free society, is to make them completely and totally dependent on the government. It just seems like there's an awful lot of coincidences going on. And if you've ever talked to anybody in law enforcement who investigates such things, there's no such thing as coincidence. So be careful out there who you are believing, what you're reading, what's going on. Make up your own minds. But the bottom line is that when this is all over, you will have to make sure that you become a small business that makes something or offers a service, because that's the only way it's truly going to recover, and the only way that we can fight back. I mean, there's other ways to fight back. We are a free people. We have the Constitution. We can vote our leaders in. But when our leaders start doing some really shady things with money, like giving money to the Kennedy Center when a bunch of people in small states, business owners need help, but they want to put up money to, a bunch of these pork things, it just seems really suspicious to me. Anyways, that's what I have for the Paranormal Past podcast. Just remember, it doesn't look like what we think it is. Pay attention to what they're doing, not what they're saying. We'll see you next time.